Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another story behind the hymns. So last week we even got more favorite hymns, so that's great.
Yeah.
So keep them coming.
We love it.
Because we love doing this. But this week we get to do a really, I don't want to say fun hymn because it's not a fun hymn. It's not used in the context of fun.
But it is also one of our favorites.
I was going to say it's one of our favorites, but the clues I think are...
All right, go ahead and you give the
One
clues.
of them's phenomenal. Okay. So first clue, this poem, because obviously they're all usually start out as poems and set to music. This poem is based on the Bible verse Luke 24, verse 29. The author of this poem is a very hunky pastor. True story. How was church?
And we liked this hymn before we knew that.
Yep. And the third one, it took 27 years to write.
Yeah.
27 years to write. So Luke 24, 29. Hunky pastor. And 27 years to write.
And we'll give you like a bonus clue. It's only 6 verses.
Oh, 6
right?
chances, yep.
Yeah, 6 verses. So, 27 years, roughly. What, 4.5 years per verse?
I would imagine being a hunky pastor. I would imagine though being a hunky pastor,
busy.
he was probably busy and didn't have time to like really sit down and pen this. But anyways, if you guys guessed this hymn, you would be correct. It goes like this. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, so abide with me. I will not sing stanza 6 like we used to because this will just end up being a bawling mess.
Yes.
But if you guessed abide with me, you would be correct.
Yes. So let's dig into
Yeah.
the story behind this.
Let's find the details.
Behind this hymn. So it was written by Henry Francis Light, who was a pastor who was unusually tall and handsome, which made him a draw for his congregation. And so the congregants flocked.
I mean, Hunky Henry or Pastor,
Henry,
come on.
They came to see Hunky Henry and bonus, received the word of God. But he was like such a draw so much that they actually had to build a bigger church.
Wow.
To accommodate everybody. But he started writing this hymn when he was visiting with another clergyman who was dying. And there was nothing to be done for this man. And the clergyman kept just saying, abide with me, stay with me. And that kind of inspired Henry. He said after that encounter, he never read the scriptures the same again. And that everything was kind of in light of the experience he had ministering to this man who was dying. So he actually wrote the first verse after the death of that man, and then it took quite some time after that, but it always stayed with him. He kept going back to it. So then fast forward to the 1940s now, and there's a lot of religious dissonance, all this stuff happening within the church, and people aren't happy. And that also translated then to Hunky Henry's church, unfortunately. And at the same time, he was diagnosed with a terminal disease. Some things have said like tuberculosis. He was not doing well health-wise. And so at that time, he kind of started penning more of Abide With Me, to the point where eventually he came up with the hymn that we know today, which was a poem and then set to the tune of Eventide. And then it was sung for the very first time at his funeral. So in addition to just his experiences, then we also said it was based off of Luke 24, verse 29, which says, but they urged him, meaning Jesus, strongly, saying, stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent. So he went in to stay with them. So this was when the disciples were on the road to Emmaus, and Jesus appeared to them after the resurrection. And so again, that stay with us, abide with us, really inspired Henry. And then he gave us the beautiful hymn that we know today.
Yeah, so as we had mentioned earlier, it's one of our favorites as well. In my previous congregation, it's usually sung like funerals. In my previous congregation, and I know you had mentioned yours too growing up, it was sung during the midweek Lenten services. So you sang one stanza, and then always 6, and then 2, and then 6, 3, and then 6, 4, 5, 6. But then on stanza 6, which is, hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes, shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. Heaven's morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life and death, O Lord, abide with me. The lights were always turned off, and the focus was on the cross because of what Jesus did for us. And so it's just it can be a heavy hymn, but it's also just so reassuring and faithful that Jesus is with you, and Jesus is going to go with you and be with you, and you're just asking him to abide with you until life's end. And I think it's just a very beautiful hymn, just gets you to focus and concentrate on it. And so it is one of my favorites. When I'm singing stanza 6, it doesn't matter. I'm usually bawling, or the focus is so faithfully strict and rich that it really gets to you. So thanks, Pat, for submitting that Abide With Me is one of your favorite hymns. Don't forget to join us next week as we find out somebody else's favorite hymn.
Maybe hunky, maybe not.
Yeah, are they all going to be hunky?
I don't know.
So.
Is that a prerequisite?
We'll see you next week on Story Behind the Hymn.
Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.